Hey guys, so today I'm gonna react to an official season 2 announcement of the anime series called Hikaru. When the Summer Hikaru Died. That's a pretty good one. It can get a little bit boring sometimes. I will make a separate video talk about my perspectives on the same thing with Down season 2 that my wife and I finished watching. We also been watching the Summer when Hikaru Died, but I'll talk more about it in a separate video about my opinions. But I just want to react to this video because I'm happy there's a season 2 announcement just found out today. So let's check it out. Interesting. Hmm. That was nice, little teaser. I like how over here, where was it? When you're showing two, right there. That's a cool way to tease us for a season 2 announcement. I like that. Very simple, but it was nice, and I like seeing the scenery here too. I guess we're gonna find out um, when season 2 is gonna come out. I have read that people said that it's extremely close to the manga. I think it's only 10 more chapters after this, after what the anime ends in season 1. So I didn't realize how new this manga. I knew it was a new recent manga, but I didn't realize how recent. So this is from X Icon, which is studio, but must change the name to X. They made this announcement very recently. So I thought this was interesting. Just wanted to check it out, let people know because if you guys are like me, you definitely want to see season 2. I do find it interesting, but I'm gonna make a separate video. Maybe my wife and I might do a podcast. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about it. Talk about this type of reaction we have at after finish watching the series, and we can go more in detail about that. But podcast would be easier in a way, so think of doing that. But let me know what you guys think about that, and let me know if you guys did finish watching season 1 of The Sun When Hikaru Died, and if you liked it. If you find it was too slow, if you found it interesting, found it boring, what were your favorite parts? What parts you disliked? Etc. We can talk about it. I do find this series interesting. It'd be cool to discuss more with people in the comment section, see your perspectives on certain scenes. Obviously, I haven't read the manga, but since we said that it's extremely close to the manga, and it could take years until they release a second season for good reason. Could take 9 copies or so. I think they said, well, from what I read in line too, I think they release one chapter a month or something like that, which is extremely little. I thought it'd be one chapter a week. So once a month is very little. So this could take a long time to have a second season. So don't be alarmed if you don't see a second season for a long time. And I'd rather that because I don't want them to do what they used to do back in the day with the fillers, and a lot of times fillers were terrible. And instead of doing fillers with maybe additional extra scenes like manga covers, they which you wouldn't be filler then, they don't do that. Like in One Piece, there's so much little extra scenes that people don't know about. Because if you don't read the manga, you won't see the manga cover that gives additional information, at least a little sprinkle of what's going on in all the scenarios. So there are things that people have no clue that happen to certain characters, certain development in the storyline that Oda does right in the cover page, right before you start reading. And that's something they should, they could easily make fillers based on that easily, or especially over the years, but they really haven't done it too much. Sometimes it will maybe add something to the anime nowadays. I'm more of a once it comes to One Piece, I'm more of the manga reader. Watch the anime for certain scenes to see how they did it. I'm not a huge One Piece anime watcher. Like I said, I'm more into the manga than the anime itself. So that's one series I prefer the manga, especially the manga cover stories. Not saying the anime is bad, but it could have been done better. And the fillers could be more actual non fillers and just be based off the cover page, which they could expand upon it, but it would be more interesting that way. Just my opinion. But the Summer Hikaru Died, I found this interesting, and I really want to see if you guys are really into it. And I do have my pros and cons. I'm thinking of doing more podcast style, just maybe with my wife too if she wants, and we can talk about it. She has the time and to discuss this. I just have to make time. As you guys may see, I've been kind of busy the last couple weeks and haven't been making videos as much as I like. I try to make time, but sometimes I'm on vacations and do other stuff. And I do have a career, so this is more of a hobby. So it can be hard for me to keep up with all the news about anything, anime, manga, video games, government, politics, career wise, job wise, etc. It's hard to keep up. So much happens every day, and I have my own life outside of the internet, so it can be hard to keep up. But I will try to keep. At least I try to make 1 or 2 videos a week. That's at least a goal. I try to do maybe once a day if I have more time, but it's not easy. And sometimes, especially on vacation, I might make YouTube shorts, uh, but don't have the time to make a long form video. But it's gonna be typical when I'm on vacation. I'm not like one of those people who use a large portion of the vacation just to record while I'm doing my vacation the whole time. So I don't do that. But I can talk about it, and especially if you want to know my experiences in certain places I travel, let me know. I'll make a video about that too. Maybe give tips on it. But anyway, I am excited for this season 2 announcement. I know it's gonna take a few years, so I want people to know that. So don't be surprised. But I do want to watch it season 2, but I'm gonna be patient. I'm hoping we get more of this type of horror stories lines. Anime series are more horror based with a cool plot storyline. But it'll be interesting to also see something that's a bit more scarier, and just more like quick on the pace of it. Almost like if it's a zombie apocalypse, more serious. Not so colorful, and like make it really like an interesting horror film that has good plot. Most horror films, they can be cool visually, have a lot of gruesome scenes, but then the plot is kind of dumb. I just want to have good writing and awesome, scary, gruesome stuff in a way. But horror stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of supernatural things. I find it kind of boring-ish. There's another more kind of drop. I finished watching it at the end. I can't remember the name right now. That was very shonen because it's very battle based. Good concept. Execution was not my favorite. Um, I want something that's more serious and less supernatural. Because sometimes when they do supernatural, like ghosts and spirits, it can get a little bit boring because then they start doing a lot of slice of life and it kind of gets out of focus what could be interesting. And it's hard to kind of kill the individual monster, beast, or thing because it's supernatural. So it's more interesting when it's like an alien horror, like the Alien series, which I'm a big fan of. And I do want to make a separate review talking about the Alien TV series that my wife and I finished watching. I think that was on Amazon. I forgot. But anyway, it's a good one. I do want to make a separate video about that specific only that show. But that was a fun show to watch. Pros and cons on it too. But like I said, let me know in the comment section if you're excited for season 2, if you're gonna watch at all, and what are your pros and cons about season 1. We can talk about it. If you like this video, excuse me. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Watching this on TikTok, follow us on TikTok, and you can support us on Patreon. Have a good weekend, guys.